They use that as a means of getting money from people, you know, but they don't tell you this up front when they come sign you up for the program. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's a whole business on its own. So it's only if you let an agent apply for you, which I would highly recommend that you do not do that, especially if you are watching this video and you're hearing it from me and somebody's telling you, okay, I can do it on your behalf or I can apply for it for you. Please don't do it unless you're physically sitting with the person and seeing all the information that they are putting in. You shouldn't agree for anybody to do the American lottery for you, because what will happen is they wouldn't use your personal email to do the application. They will use your name and everything, your picture, but they wouldn't use your personal email. So in the event that you win, they are the ones that will receive the notification, right? And so they get to have the confirmation number and all the pertinent details that you would need to be able to proceed with submitting an application for the visa. So that's what happened. Guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be giving you information about how I won the American lottery. Stay tuned. Okay, so in the year 2012, I won the American lottery, and that is how I got to come to the US. So everything happened so quickly, and I mean, it was miraculous, let me put it that way. So it happened that in level 100, when I was in university back in Ghana, some people came on campus. Some guys just came on campus, and I remember them going around the halls and asking people if they want to apply for the American lottery. And that was my first time, not necessarily first time hearing about it, but first time probably like being involved. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean, I want to apply. What does it involve? And they said, we just take a picture of you, we get your name, blah, 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 fill this form, and that's it. So myself and a few of my roommates, we went ahead and signed up for it. We went down there, took our pictures with them, gave them whatever information they needed, and that was it. We didn't have any way to kind of contact them again. We didn't know when we were going to hear back from them. It was just a one-time thing, which, I mean, it turned out to be good. So, that was in level 100. That was, I think, in the year 2008 or 2009, early 2009 is when this happened. And I forgot about it because, I mean, there was no contract to say, okay, we'll keep in touch and this is what happens. So yeah, in level 400, almost when I was about to complete school, I got a call from a strange number, and it was, you have won the American lottery. Come meet me in such and such city in Ghana. I was like, okay. So I remember calling my mom and telling her the information. I was like, somebody called, said I've won the lottery, and he lives in Koforidua in Ghana. So we have to go meet the person. So if I recall, I think my mom or my senior brother called the person to get proof that what he's saying is true. So this guy went ahead and sent like a picture of a portion of the letter or the email that said I had won, and sent it over just to confirm that, okay, truly he has documentation to say I won the lottery. So we ended up scheduling a time and going to Koforidua. It was just me and my mom that went there to meet this guy for the first time. So we went there. He took us to his office, told us everything, the processes that is involved, and how much he was going to charge and so many things. So we're like, okay, I mean, this is a whole amount of money that you're asking for. This is huge. He was asking for, I think, $7,000 at that time to process the thing for me, because he had like the confirmation number and everything. I think when they applied, they used their own email address and when you win, they get it, so you don't get any information. You don't get to know the details such that you are able to do the process yourself. So they use that as a means of getting money from people, but they don't tell you this up front when they come sign you up for the program. And it's unfortunate, but it's a whole business on its own. So we talked about it, and of course we couldn't pay that amount of money because we don't have that money. I didn't have anybody who could say, oh, okay, I have $7,000 sitting there, come take it, give it to this person, and he's gonna help you through it. So we went back home, and I recall we discussed with my sister. She was then living in London, and my senior brother, who at that time was in Ghana. So he was like, okay, if truly you've won, then we have to proceed, right? So the other alternative, the agent, that is the guy who did the application on my behalf, the other alternative was for him to either attach somebody to me so that the person pays most of the amount that he was charging, right? So he was going to attach somebody to me as a spouse, of course a fake spouse, and then that person was the one responsible to pay a huge part of the money, but still I owed a portion of it. I think it was $2,000 for my portion and $5,000 for the other person's portion, so we could proceed. So it looks like they already have like a list of people that are willing to pay such huge amounts, so they could be attached to those who win, and then you would come together. You go to the interview as a couple, and then come into the country as a couple, and then down the line split and all that. So it happened that way, where because we didn't have the money, we had to go in for that option of, okay, he's going to attach this person to you, so you're going to start working with that person in terms of getting to know the person, preparing for the interview and all that. Because of course, if you are married, you need to know a whole lot about your spouse, and your spouse needs to know a whole lot about you so that you can pass the interview. There was this guy that was willing to pay that amount of money for us to proceed. So we brought him into the thing, and we started the process of like learning some questions that the interviewers most likely will ask, and getting ourselves ready to go in for the interview. But that is a whole different thing that I'll talk about in terms of when somebody is attached to you as a spouse, so that you all can come in. That is only if you let an agent apply for you, which I would highly recommend that you do not do that, especially if you are watching this video and you're hearing it from me, and somebody's telling you, okay, I can do it on your behalf, or I can apply for it for you. Please don't do it unless you are physically sitting with the person and seeing all the information that they are putting in. You shouldn't agree for anybody to do the American lottery for you, because what will happen is they wouldn't use your personal email to do the application. They will use your name and everything, your picture, but they wouldn't use your personal email. So in the event that you win, they are the ones that will receive the notification, right? And so they get to have the confirmation number and all the pertinent details that you would need to be able to proceed with submitting an application for the visa. So that's what happened. So fast forward, we went through the process of getting to know each other and all that. And I think a week or two to the interview date, we had already scheduled an interview at the embassy. Miraculously, this agent comes and tells us it looks like they are denying a lot of couples the visa. For the American lottery. I think the embassy staff are getting to identify all those fake marriages, right? So he now comes back and suggests that we don't go together as a couple in terms of the interview, even though we've paid for the visa fee, we have an appointment scheduled, and this is really like last minute. Like, if I recall, probably was like maybe a week to the interview date, after all the extra work we had put in, the number of days we had spent knowing each other, learning the questions and all that. So it was a bummer for this person who has been attached to me as a spouse, because that was his only option. Not necessarily his only option, but this was like a guaranteed option for him to get a green card and come in and be able to like start working, rather than coming in with a visa and trying to understand all those things. So we spoke about it, and we both agreed, okay, unfortunately you wouldn't be able to go to the interview, just because most likely if you go, they're going to deny both of you the visas. It wouldn't be just one denial for one person, it's a denial for both spouses. So I ended up going to the interview alone, and God be so good. Like, I went there, they didn't ask me any questions about my spouse, because ideally it shows that I have a spouse, right? Because we did the application, we submitted it as a couple. So the interviewer did not even ask, oh, how come your husband is not going with you anymore, or is not applying with you anymore? Nothing like that. So it was more like, so you are done with your university education? I was like, yeah, I did nursing, and I don't recall them even asking any more questions after that. It was an outright approval. Your visa has been approved. Come back in 3 or 4 days, whatever, and come for the passport. So they give you this slip. I think it was a pink slip. My time, this was 10 years ago. It was a pink slip. So what will happen is, the day that you are scheduled to pick up your passport, you have to come back with this pink slip to show that you have something to pick up, so it would be given to you. So they gave me the pink slip. I walked out. I was excited. The visa had been approved. I'll be traveling to the US soon. And this was like late March of 2013. Late March of 2013. So it was approved. I stepped out. My mom was sitting out there with the agent waiting for me to come out, because my mom was involved the whole time. Like, she sacrificed her whole life to make sure that everything was in place. So I came out. I went there, met them under a big tree, chatting and all that. So this agent actually had become more like a friend, like a very close friend, like somebody you feel like you can trust. Because I was really young that time. I was like, 22, maybe 21, just about turning 22. So I was pretty young, and my mom, who unfortunately is uneducated, doesn't really understand much of these things. She's just there for the support and all that. But my senior brother, who had traveled before and lived outside of Ghana, knew a lot. So he was involved and came into play towards the end. So back to me meeting them after the interview. The guy was like, oh, okay, so where's the paper they gave you? I was like, oh yeah, here it is. And freely I gave it to him, but I didn't know he was asking for it so he could keep it. So he takes it, looks at it, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep it. And then on this day that you have to pick up, we are all going to meet here. I'll give you the pink slip. You go in there, you get the passport, and then you come out. I was like, okay. We parted ways. We all went home. Fast forward, the day came. We woke up early in the morning, met him at the embassy, and he had the pink slip, gave it back to me. I went in there to take my passport, and I came out. So as I was coming out of the embassy, I took my phone from, I think before you enter, they search you and take your electronic devices and all that. So when I came back to pick up my phone from the security point, I had seen like 20 something missed calls from my senior brother, if I recall exactly. And I was like, what is happening? Why is he calling me so many times? So what had happened was that the morning when I had left with my mom to go meet the guy for us to go get the passport, we left like very early, maybe like 5 a.m. And we hadn't had a chance to speak with my brother that morning. So after he woke up and realized that, oh, we had left, he was trying to call me to kind of like gist me on what to do after I get the passport. But we couldn't speak before I went in there to get the passport. So upon coming out and getting my phone and seeing his missed calls, I quickly called him, even before trying to get to my mom and the guy. So I called him, and he's like, wait for me right where you are. Like, I was at the entrance of the security point, and my mom and the guy were like on the other side of the embassy, sitting under the big tree chatting as usual. So I called him, and he's like, don't go that way, just come towards me on the other side. I'm right there around the corner. And so I quickly go to him, and he's trying to call my mom so my mom could kind of like find a way to leave the guy and come meet us so we could go home and not end up giving the passport to the guy. But unfortunately, my mom's phone wasn't going through, or either I had her phone or something like that. So we couldn't just leave her with the guy because she doesn't have any information of where I am at that point. So we ended up, my brother took the passport from me, kept it with him, and he was like, okay, he was like, okay, just go ahead and go to your mom and go tell her that I am here, blah blah blah. So I gave him the passport, walked around, went to them under the big tree, and the guy was like, he was furious just when he saw me and realized I had nothing in my hands. So he's like, what happened? Where's the passport? He's like red eyes and so angry. There's somebody who we've never seen his anger. Like, he's been so nice this whole time and so friendly and supportive and treating us so nicely. So now I get to see the other side of him, and he's like like if he had anything that he could use to like strike me, probably he would do that. So he was very angry, and I was like, I mean, my brother is here. He has the passport, and so we can go meet him. So my brother comes around, and then so man to man, right? At this point, it's a man to man thing. I think they were all about the same age, so he has his way of dealing with him. So he starts, and they're arguing, and he wants the passport. My brother's like, no, and let's sit down and talk about this. And he doesn't want to hear anything. He just wants the passport, because once he has the passport, you have to pay him his money before you get the passport, right? Because you can't travel. I mean, he's not giving you the passport until he gets his money. So either your passport stays with him until the visa expires, and the visa is only valid for like 4 months. They give you only 4 months for you to be able to come into the country and then get the official green card. So my brother was like, no way, we are not giving this to you. So we have to sit down, we have to talk about it, because we know the person that you attached to me is no longer going. So of course you probably are not getting the money that you are looking forward to getting, because he didn't get to go for the visa. So he's expecting that we now pay a huge amount of money. So yeah, we didn't do that. My brother decided to deal with him separately. He's like, I'm gonna get it. He got my plane ticket, and he's like, in a week you are going. So I didn't have to stress about it. But of course, like, the impact it has on me is hard, because I mean, I see this person as a genuine person, a kind person, a trustworthy person, and all that. And he, on the other hand, understands that it's more of a business rather than anything. He's being nice because he's trying to get money from you. So yeah, I think just after I got the visa, within a week, I left Ghana hurriedly, and that's how I got to the country. Unfortunately, the guy did not get to come. I really don't know what's up with him now. But yeah, upon landing in the United States, I did go to Oregon, because that's where my cousin lived. I didn't really know a lot of people here in terms of family, but I had a cousin in in Oregon. So that is where I ended up going. So yeah, that is how I ended up winning the lottery. But one thing I'll tell you is, the year that I won, that was 2012. So the guy applied in 2011. The result came out in 2012. And then I got to travel in 2013. Same year, I remember my cousin who lived in Oregon usually did the application for like the whole family. Like, we would send pictures to her, and she would do the application on our behalf. But for some reason, that particular year when I won, she didn't know she didn't apply for me. She thought she had done it for everybody. So I remember upon arriving in Oregon, she couldn't believe that I won through the guy, because she's like, I did everything, like, I have everything here. And so she goes to her pal, and she couldn't find my application, right? So I didn't end up having 2 entries that year. So let me put it that way. So I feel like for the previous years that the guy was applying for me, my cousin was also applying for me, because we didn't have knowledge that the guy was going to keep doing it. You know, he took my information the year he did, and I didn't know he was going to keep doing it. So I feel like everything happened the way it happened because God said it that way. So me coming to the US, winning the lottery and all that, I feel like it was really ordained by God. And since coming into the country, he's put things in place and made sure whatever he had willed for me would come to pass, right? Let me put it that way. So I would encourage you, if you're applying for the DV Lottery 2025, 5 this year. Go ahead and do the application yourself. Don't give anybody the chance to come back and want to get money from you. It doesn't take long to do the application, about 30 minutes of your time. Get your picture right, get your information ready, sit behind your phone, your laptop, your computer, and do the application yourself. Do the application yourself. Some people say when the agents do it, your chances of winning are higher, but I would say, I mean, God is the only one who knows who's going to win and who's not going to win. And you just go ahead and do it yourself, right? Go ahead and do it yourself. For some people, some agents took your information so many years ago. You have no idea that they are still applying for you. So when you apply and they apply, you have 2 entries and automatically it disqualifies you. So don't get into that trap of giving your information out to an agent. If anything, let it be somebody that is family or is a close friend, that when they are doing it, you are there with them. You know the email address they are putting in, or somebody who you know can be able to give you the information you need should you win and not want to use that as a means to take money from you. If you're enjoying our content, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from us. We'll be bringing you more content about immigrating and all about life in America. We'll be sharing more content with you that will be a blessing to you and everyone around you. If you haven't shared it yet, go ahead and share it with your friends, family, and loved ones. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.